So look at the problem based on the result just we have discussed on triangle law of addition of vectors. Three forces F1 bar, comma, F2 bar and F3 bar of magnitudes 10 Newton, comma, 20 Newton and 10 root 3 Newton respectively keep a particle in equilibrium. What is the angle between the two forces? There are three parts in the question. First part of the question F1 bar and F2 bar. Second part of the question F2 bar and F3 bar. Third part of the question F3 bar and F1 bar. So here it is given that the three forces keep the particle in equilibrium. Therefore, we can say that the resultant of the three forces is 0. From the result just now we have discussed, if the resultant of three forces is 0, then the three forces can be graphically represented along the three sides of the triangle, all taken in the same order, provided no two forces are parallel. So in general, if the resultant of three non-parallel forces becomes 0, then the three forces can be graphically represented along the three sides of the triangle, all taken in the same order, means head of one vector attached to the tail of other vector. That means you can draw the three forces along the three sides of triangle such that head of one force is attached to tail of other force. In such examples, first you can check up whether the three forces can form a right angle triangle or not. For this, that means you have to check up whether the three given magnitudes satisfy the condition of Pythagoras theorem for a right angle triangle. So come on, look at the solution for the problem. So it's given that magnitude of the first force F1 bar, write it as F1 equal to 10 Newton. Magnitude of the second force F2 bar, I write it as F2 equal to 20 Newton. Magnitude of F3 bar equal to 10 root 3 Newton. You can add the squares of the smaller magnitudes F1 and F3. F1 square plus F3 square equal to 10 Newton square plus 10 root 3 Newton square. That comes out to be 400 Newton square, which is equal to F2 square. That means here F1 square plus F3 square equal to F2 square. That means the three forces satisfy the condition of Pythagoras theorem. Therefore, the three forces can be graphically represented by the three sides of the right angle triangle. The larger force acts along the hypotenuse of the triangle. So, can draw the three forces in this way. F1 bar, the smaller forces are perpendicular to each other. Here F1 bar and F3 bar represent the smaller forces. the largest of the three forces, I mean the force which has the largest magnitude, should be represented along the hypotenuse side of the right angle triangle. The three forces must be represented in the same order. That is, head of one vector attached to the tail of other vector. So head of F1 bar is attached to tail of F3 bar. Head of F3 bar is attached to tail of F2 bar. So you can observe that the angle between F1 bar and F3 bar is 90 degrees. Let us call this angle as theta 1. This angle as theta 2. So from the figure, you can observe in the figure, sine theta 1 equal to mod of F3 bar divided by mod of F2 bar, which you can write it as mod of F3 bar is 10 root 3 Newton, mod of F2 bar is 20 Newton. That means sine theta 1, you get root 3 by 2. Therefore, theta 1 you get 60 degrees. But you should not take the angle between the forces F2 bar and F1 bar as theta 1. As I have discussed previously, that to know the angle between two vectors, the two vectors must be graphically represented such that tail of one vector is attached to the tail of other vector. So this should be taken as the angle between F1 bar and F2 bar, which will be equal to, so angle between F1 bar and F2 bar will be equal to 180 degrees minus theta 1. That is 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. So that will be equal to 120 degrees. So the answer for first question, that is the angle between F1 bar and F2 bar, is 120 degrees, which are shown previously. This angle we have taken as theta 1, this angle as theta 2. This is F1 bar. This is F2 bar and this is F3 bar. So theta 1 plus theta 2 will be 90 degrees. So theta 2 equal to 90 degrees minus theta 1. We got theta 1 as 60 degrees. So theta 2 will be 30 degrees. But to know the angle between two vectors by the graphical method, the two vectors must be drawn from the same point such that tail of one vector is attached to tail of other vector. So I can draw F3 bar here. That means this should be taken as the angle between F2 bar and F3 bar. So angle between F2 bar and F3 bar is equal to 180 degrees minus theta 2. This particular angle. Or 180 degrees minus 30 degrees. That is 150 degrees. So this is one of the answers. So finally, you can see the answers for the three questions. The angle between F1 bar and F2 bar is 180 minus theta 1, that is 120 degrees. The angle between F2 bar and F3 bar is 180 degrees minus theta 2, which will be 150 degrees. The angle between F1 bar and F3 bar is 90 degrees. Next problem. Problem number 3. This problem is also same model, but I wanted to give another problem, same model, for your practice so that you gain more confidence to solve this problem yourself. After going through the problem, you can first try to do it yourself. You can take a pause and try to do the problem yourself. Once we'll look at the problem, three forces F1 bar and F2 bar and F3 bar of magnitude 6 newtons, 8 newtons and 10 newtons respectively are in equilibrium. What is the angle between first part of question F1 bar and F2 bar, second part of the question F2 bar and F3 bar, third part of the question F3 bar and F1 bar. So you have to try this problem yourself. You can take a pause and try the problem yourself. Okay, you have tried. Now, in case you want to check up the working, you can see the solution of the problem now. The resultant of the three forces is equal to 0 vector. It's given that magnitude of the first force F1 bar or F1 equal to 6 Newton, magnitude of second force F2 bar or F2 equal to 8 Newton, and magnitude of the third force F3 bar or F3 equal to 10 Newton. You can observe that you can try to square and add the smaller magnitudes. You can observe that F1 square plus F2 square. That will be 6 Newton square plus 8 Newton square will be equal to 100 Newton square. Or you can observe that sum of the squares of the magnitudes of first two forces is equal to square of the magnitude of third force. That means the three forces form a right angle triangle because they satisfy the condition of Pythagoras theorem. The resultant of three forces is 0. So the conclusion, as I discussed previously, is that if the resultant of three non-parallel forces is 0, then the three forces can be graphically represented along the three sides of the triangle, all taken in the same order. One may get a doubt how to know that the forces are not parallel. If the resultant of three forces is 0, and sometimes you may have a situation where two forces act in one direction, third force in the opposite direction. In that case, some of the magnitudes of the smaller forces will be equal to the magnitude of the largest force. But here 6 Newton plus 8 Newtons is 14 Newton, that is more than 10 Newtons. So therefore the forces cannot be parallel. So the three forces can be graphically represented along the three sides of a right angle triangle, all taken in the same order. the largest force, I mean the force with largest magnitude, should be represented along the hypotenuse side. That means the force F3 bar should be represented by the hypotenuse side. That means the smaller forces F1 bar and F2 bar, they are perpendicular to each other. So you can draw the three forces in this way. F1 bar, F2 bar, that is tail of second force F2 bar is attached to the head of the first force F1 bar, so that they are in the same order. And tail of the third vector is attached to head of the second vector. And tail of the first vector is attached to head of third vector. So here F1 bar is perpendicular to F2 bar. Therefore, angle between F1 bar and F2 bar equal to 90 degrees. So that is one of the answers. Next, let us call this particular angle as theta 1 and this angle as theta 2. So in the figure, we have a right angle triangle. So sine, in the given figure, sine theta 2 can be written as length of side opposite to theta 2 divided by length of the hypotenuse side. Length of the side opposite to theta 2 gives you magnitude of F2 bar. Length of hypotenuse side gives you magnitude of F3 bar. So you get sine theta 2 equal to magnitude of F2 bar, that is 8 Newton, divided by magnitude of F3 bar, that is 10 Newton. Or sine theta 2 is equal to 4 by 5. Or theta 2 equal to 53 degrees. But theta 2 should not be taken as the angle between F1 bar and F3 bar. As I discussed earlier, in order to find the angle between two vectors by the graphical method, the two vectors must be graphically represented such that the tail of one vector is attached to the tail of other vector. So if you produce the direction of F3 bar like this, this should be the angle between F3 bar and F1 bar, which is equal to 180 degrees minus theta 2. Yeah. So if you attach the tail of F3 bar with the tail of F1 bar, then this angle should be taken as, will be equal to 180 degrees minus theta 2. That means angle between F1 bar and F3 bar equal to 180 degrees minus theta 2. That is equal to 180 degrees minus 53 degrees. That will be equal to 127 degrees. That is one of the answers. In the figure, you can observe that the sum of the angles theta 1 and theta 2 is 90 degrees. Therefore, theta 1 can be taken as 90 degrees minus theta 2 or 90 degrees minus 53 degrees, which will be equal to 37 degrees. But similarly, the angle between F2 bar and F3 bar, that means if you produce the direction of F2 bar, This should be taken as the angle between F2 bar and F3 bar, which is equal to 180 degrees minus theta 1. This means angle between F2 bar and F3 bar equal to 180 degrees minus theta 1. That is equal to 180 degrees minus 37 degrees. That comes out to be 143 degrees. So that is one of the answers here. Of course, this method can be followed only when the given three forces form a right angle triangle. That means this method can be followed only when the three forces satisfy the condition of Pythagoras theorem, form a right angle triangle. But sometimes you may come across a problem of similar type where the three forces may not form a right angle triangle. In such cases, also we can apply the triangle law of addition of vectors, but we cannot apply the condition of Pythagoras theorem. We can use the sine rule. The MPC students study about the sine rule in trigonometry. Of course, even for biology students also, we discuss the sine rule. It is given even in Tela Academy textbook in the vectors topic as one of the exercise questions to prove sine rule using the definition of the cross productive vectors. But at present, I am not going to discuss the proof of the sine rule, but I am just going to discuss the sine rule here. Next, I would like to once mention about the sine rule. In any triangle, ratio of the length of the side divided by sine of the angle at the opposite vertex will be the same for all the three sides. Suppose this particular angle are denoted by capital A, this angle are denoted by capital B, this angle by capital C. The length of the side opposite to this angle, capital A, is denoted by small letter a. Length of this side, which is opposite to the angle, capital B, denoted by small b. The length of this side, which is opposite to this particular angle, denoted by small c. The sine rule says that small a by sine capital A is equal to small b by sine capital B, that is equal to small c by sine capital C. That is the ratio of the length of the side divided by sine of the angle at the opposite vertex. That is the same for all the three sides of the triangle.